Now, it's important to remember that when we're looking at substitution, everybody, we need to ask ourselves, what does substitution mean? And when I think of substitution, okay, I like to think of it in a sports context. Now, remember, I am no sports person, all right? I didn't play sports in school. For those of you who play netball and hockey and soccer and all those good sports, right? Well done, and basketball and all those good things, okay? But I'm not really much of a sports person. The only thing I really understand in sports is when they do substitution. Why? Because I'm quite happy to come off of the field, the sports field, and have somebody put them in my place. So that's exactly what we're doing when we are substituting in maths. All right, it's exactly the same thing we're doing when we are doing substitution in maths. When we're doing substitution in maths, what we're saying is we are wanting to, whatever the letter is, okay, we're wanting to take that letter out of our sum, and we're going to substitute in the number in its place. So exactly the same as how we would do in sport, how we would take a player out and we would put a new player back in. That's the exact same thing that we're doing in our math sum. We are substituting. It's important to remember that the exact same thing in sport, all right, the exact same thing in sport, when you substitute in a player, that player is like in a little bubble because he hasn't been on the field yet. He hasn't been touched by any of the other players, so he's kind of like in his own little bubble. So we must remember that when we're substituting into a sum, we must put some bubbles. All right. So for my first part of today's sum, it's telling me, check the given solutions using substitution. If the solution is incorrect, provide the correct ones. So we're checking what they've given us using substitution. And then if it's incorrect, we're going to complete the math sum. Okay. In order to do this, when we want to check that a sum is correct, what we're going to do is we're going to split these sums up. We're going to say this is the left-hand side of the sum, and this is the right-hand side of the sum. So we're going to start by doing the left-hand side of the sum. On the left-hand side of the sum, it says x squared plus 5 is equal to 2x plus 5. And in brackets, they've told us x is equal to 2. So in other words, we're going to use substitution here. Remember, what does substitution mean? We're taking the x out of the sum, and whenever we saw x, we're going to put 2 into the sum. So I'm going to have open brackets, 2 squared plus 5. So that's on my left-hand side of the sum. Now, one thing that I would really suggest is that you use your calculators. Make sure that you are using your calculators. There is no shame in using a calculator. You are in grade 9. You are allowed to use a calculator. So use a calculator. Right? My sum says, okay, I would open up my brackets on my calculator. 2, close your brackets, raise to the power of 2 plus 5. And that gives me 9. Now I'm going to go to the right-hand side. On the right-hand side, I've got 2, open brackets, 2 plus 5. On my calculator, I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to get 9. So, does the left-hand side equal the right-hand side? Yes, it does. I am happy with that sum, and I'm happy to continue. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Right. In the next one, again, I'm going to have a left-hand side, and I'm going to have a right-hand side. So setting up my equation nicely, I'm going to have on my left-hand side, I've got 7. Wherever I see y now, I'm going to see 3 over 2 plus 3, open brackets, 3 over 2 minus 5. Okay, I'm going to need your help. My calculator has run out of batteries, so I'm going to need your help in solving that sum. Let's go. 7, open brackets, 3 over 5 plus 3, open brackets, 3 over 2 minus 5. Can you put the answers for me in the chat, please? What do you get when you put that sum in your calculator? What do you get when you put that sum into your calculator, everybody? Fantastic, you get 0. Good, nice, quick answers there. All right, when you put that sum into your calculator, you get 0. What do I see on the right-hand side? They told me that the right-hand side was equal to 0. So, is the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side? Yes, it is. So I am happy with that one as well. All right, I am going to let you try the next 2 sums, all right, before I give you the answers. So you can actually go and try the next 3 sums, all right, rather than me just giving you the answers. So go and try those next 3 sums. What I would suggest and what I'm going to encourage you to do is take screenshots of the answers tonight. So for those questions that we've just done, maybe try take a screenshot so you've got them, because I am going to be erasing them so I've got more space. Okay, while people are doing those questions, if you do have any questions, all right, you can ask me. So please, can you raise your hands, and I am more than happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, just as a reminder, what are we busy doing? You are busy with your pencil and your paper. You are busy answering D, E, and F for me. So if the answers are not the same, yes, you do have to solve the equation and find out what X is equal to. Good. Okay, go try D, E, and F for me. All right, if there's anyone who might need help with those first 2, you're a little bit confused, you're not sure, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Right. Cece, how can I help you?
Can you just please explain C? Because I kind of got lost there.
No problem. Of course, I can explain for you. So, what are we going to do? We're going to say, on the left-hand side, we're going to have 7, open brackets. Instead of seeing y, we're going to see 3 over 2, plus 3, open brackets, 3 over 2, minus 5, equals. Right, Cece, you're going to put that on your calculator for me. Put that on your calculator, and what do you get when you put that in?
Oh, yeah, I get 0.
Fantastic, you get 0. Good. Right, what's the right-hand side equal to, Cece?
Also equal to 0.
0, good. So, will y be equal to 3 over 2? Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Okay, you good?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Nosisa? How can I help? Nosisa, you are unmuted. Do you have a question? All right, Nosisa, I'm going to try one last time. Nosisa, do you have a question for me? Okay, we seem to have lost Nosisa. Right, I'm going to do D with you, and then I do see I have one more hand raised, so I will answer that question as soon as we do D. So let's do D together. So for D, now I have an exponent. So I've got left-hand side, and I've got right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, I've got 5 to the power of 1 plus 2 minus 3. So on my calculator, I've got 5. 1 plus 2 gives me 3 minus 3. When I put that on the calculator, it gives me 122. On my right-hand side, I see that my answer is 2. So I definitely know that those 2 sides are not equal. They're not equal. So that means that x cannot be equal to 1. Which means, what do I need to go and do? I need to go and solve the sum. So they told me that 5 was x plus 2 minus 3 equals 2. I leave 5 to the power of x plus 2 where he is. I take this 3 to the other side. So now I've got 5 to the power of x plus 2 equals 5. When they don't write that it's got an exponent, what do we know that the exponent is going to be? Okay, what do we know the exponent is going to be? Tell me in the chat. I've got 5 to the power of x plus 2. On that right-hand side, what is 5 to the power of? Good. It's to the power of 1. So for this sum, right, for the sum, I've got x plus 2 equals 1. I'm going to leave x where he is. I'm going to take the 2 across, and I'm going to have x equals negative 1. Fantastic. So my answer for D is going to be x is equal to negative 1. All right. X equals negative 1. So go try E and F for me. I'm going to answer a question. In the pillar. Hi there. How can I help?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. How can I help?
Ma'am, you lost me when you said 5x square plus 2 equals 5 over the power of 1.
Okay. All right. So
Yes,
were you good with me when I took 3 to the other side and it became 5? Hey? So 5 to the x plus 2 equals 5. Are you happy there?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, what do we know? We know that if it's just 5, all right, then what's the power of 5? It's going to be to the power of 1, hey?
1. Yes, ma'am.
Now, the moment that I have the same base, so I've got 5 to the power of x plus 2 equals 5 to the power of 1. If the bases are the same, so the base is the same on this side, and the base is the same on that side, what can I do? Can you remember from the last few lessons when you were doing those kind of equations? So the base is the same, the base is the same. Can you see it?
I'm new, ma'am. So I'm not
you're
sure.
new.
From the...
Okay, that's
yes,
fine. That's fine. So the moment you see the base is the same. So do you see I've got 5 to the x plus 2. I've got 5 to the 1. So if the bases are the same on both sides, what can I do? I can drop the base. Do you see I dropped the base? Do you see it?
May
and
you
so
please
what was I
indicate
left
where,
with?
ma'am?
Can I please do what?
Indicate where did you drop the base?
Sure, of course. Here's it here. So here, all I did was I took the bases, here they were. This was the same as this. Okay,
yes,
so what did I do? I took the base because they were the same, and when I brought it here, I dropped the base.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I can see that.
There's no
yes,
more bases. What's left? X plus 2 is equal to 1.
1.
Okay, you got me.
You take the 2 to the other side, and
That's
it becomes a negative.
That's right. And then you say 1 minus 2 equals negative 1.
Negative 1.
Makes sense.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Do me a favor. Go and have a look at the videos from the last few lessons because there's a whole lesson on doing this, okay?
No problem, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good evening. All right, I'm going to answer number D, and then I'll see if there's any more questions. I think there are a few more questions. Sorry, let's have a look at D. Okay, I hope that you managed to take a screenshot of that last question. All right, I hope you managed to take a screenshot of that last question. Let's have a look at D, everybody. So for D, what have I got? All right, for D, I've got left-hand side, 4 open brackets, 14 over 19 minus 7 plus 6 open brackets, 2 minus 3, 14 over 19 equals. Okay, tell me on the left-hand side, what do we get on the left-hand side when you put that into your calculator, guys? Okay, what happens when you put that into your calculator? 4 open brackets, fantastic. You get negative 500 over 19. On the right-hand side, you've got 5 open brackets, 14 over 19 minus 6 equals, when you put that in your calculator, you also get negative 500 over 19. So what do I know? I know that these two sides are the same. So is x equal to 14 over 19? Yes, it is. All right. Yes, it is. So those of you who were unsure of how to do number D, let's go have a look at number F, because F is a little bit similar to number D. Okay, let's have a look at number F, and then if you're still having issues, I'll answer some more questions. But let's have a look at F. All right, so for F, I'm going to just give myself a little bit more space here. All right. First of all, I've got a left-hand side and I've got a right-hand side. So first I need to work out, does the left-hand side equal the right-hand side? So on the left-hand side, I've got 1 over 3 times by 6 to the power of 3 plus 1. Okay, when you put that in your calculator, what do you get? 1 over 3 times 6 to the power of 3 plus 1. I'm seeing it gives us 73. Does everybody get 73 for that answer? Have a look, do it on your calculator, 73. I know that the right-hand side, they're telling me, is equal to 13. So what do I see? I see the left-hand side and the right-hand side aren't equal to each other. So this can't be the right answer. So what do I need to go and do? I need to go and solve this sum. So let's take it from the beginning. If you weren't sure to do how to do number D, please make sure you're paying attention now, because we're going to have a look at F. I've got 1 over 3 times by 6 to the power of n plus 1 equals 12. All right. Now, what's the first thing you want to do when you're doing the sum? What's the first thing you want to do when you're doing the sum? The first thing I would want to do is I would want to do and take this 1 and I would take it to the other side. So I would have 1 over 3 times by 6 to the n is equal to 12 minus 1. Okay, 12 minus 1. Oh, and somebody's picked up a mistake I made. Thank you so much for that, guys. So this is actually 13. Apologies. This is 13. Thank you so much for picking up on that. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Okay. So now I have 1 over 3 times 6 to the n equals 12. All right. On the one side, I have 1 over 3 times 6 over n is equal to 12. What do I want to do? I want to get rid of 1 over 3. Good, Tammy. I want to divide by 1 over 3 on both sides. Fantastic. So I want to say divided by 1 over 3 over here, divided by 1 over 3 over there. Or exactly the same as what Emmanuel's saying, I can also say times by 3. Good, Emmanuel. Fantastic. So I'm going to get 6 to the n is equal to 36. 6 to the n is equal to 36. Now, what do I see? I see that my letter, all right, my variable, my letter, is in the exponent. So it's up there in the exponent, right? When I have a letter that's up there in the exponent, the goal is to get the same base on each side. So the same bottom, the same base on each side. So I've got 6 to the n is equal to, how can I get 36 so that I can see a 6 in it? I'm seeing some people are putting in there, Tammy's got the right answer, okay? 36 is the same thing as saying what? It's the same thing as saying 6 to the power of 2. Now, have I got 6 on one side and have I got 6 on the other side as a base? So are my bases the same, the bottoms? 6 and 6, do you see it? 6 on the one side, 6 on the other side. Good. Guys, be careful about saying cancel. We're not canceling the bases. We're not canceling the bases, okay? We're not canceling the bases. We're saying if the bases are the same, we're going to drop the bases. We're going to drop the bases and we're going to say because 6 and 6 are the same, it's the same as saying n is equal to 2. So let's go through it one last time. The first thing I did was I took my 1 across to the other side. When I took my 1 across the other side, it became negative. So 13 minus 1 gave me 12. My sum was saying 1 over 3 times by 6 to the n equals 12. If I want to get rid of 1 over 3, what do I need to do? I need to divide by 1 over 3. So I divided by 1 over 3 on this side, and that's cancelled each other out. All right. What do I do on the other side? I say 12 divided by 1 over 3. And if I do that on my calculator, it'll give me 36. What did I then do? I saw that I've got 6 to the n is equal to, what's 36 the same as saying? 36 is the same as saying 6 squared. So now I have 6 to the n, 6 to the 2. So n is going to be equal to 2. Okay, I hope that you've got that one. Make sure you've screenshotted it. It's a really good one to have in your bank of questions so that you've got it there so you can practice it again and again and again. Okay, right. I'm going to move on to the brain break questions for you in the meantime. And while you're having a look at those and going through those, okay, I am going to answer some questions. I see that there's some questions on the side. So moving down to our brain break question for this evening. Let's make it a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see. The first one says, which domino completes the row? So you guys go and have a brain break. In the meantime, I'm going to answer Chief. So Chief, what is your question?
Ma'am, I was asking about D. I wanted you, can you please go through D again?
Sure. Let me have a look at D again. I think I did go through it once already, but I will have a look at it once more for you guys. So while everybody is doing the brain break question, let's have a look at D one last time. One last time. So D was, all right. Chief, can I ask you, have you got D written down on a piece of paper there?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what it was? So it's 5 to the power of x.
No, wait, the sum.
Yeah, what's the sum?
It was 4 open brackets, x minus 7.
D. Let's have a look. That's D over here.
Oh,
Hey?
oh,
So 5
that's,
to the power. Yeah.
oh,
So
I,
do you want to
I
go
got
through
the
E?
wrong sum.
So is it E that you want to
No,
go through or
D.
D? D.
It's
so
D.
5. Okay, so 5 to the power of x plus 2. X plus 2 minus 3 equals 2. Right, Chief, you tell me, what should I do first? You're going to tell me, you're going to walk me through it. What do I do first, Chief?
You replace the x with the...
Okay, but we did that, and remember when we did that, we saw that it didn't equal each other. So now we've got to solve the sum. Okay, so we're going to solve the sum, Chief. So what do we do first when we're solving the sum? What's the
We're
first thing I
gonna
must do?
take the minus 3 over.
Fantastic. I'm taking the minus 3 over. So I'm going to say 5. So the x plus 2 is equal to, when I take the minus 3 over, I'm going to say 2 plus 3, and it's going to give me 5, hey, Chief?
Yes.
All right. Now, on that 5, what's the exponent on that 5?
It's x plus 2.
Okay, that's on the one side. On the other side, what's the
There's
exponent on
no,
the 5?
there's no
There's no
exponent.
Good. So what is the exponent? Is it 0?
Yes.
Is it 0? What's 5 to the power of 0? Put that on your calculator. What does that tell you if you do 5 to the power of 0? What's 5 to the power of 0?
It's 1.
Good. It's 1. Thank you, Chief. It's 1. All right. Now, Chief, do I have the same base on each side? Is 5 the base on the left-hand side, and is 5 the base on the right-hand side?
We do have the same base.
I do have the same base. What happens when I have the same base on each side, Chief? What can I do? What happens if
We
I've got
need
the same?
to
Mhm.
we need to get the exponents the same.
Okay, so if the bases are the same, then we can say that the exponents are equal. Okay, so we can say therefore x plus 2 equals 1. Okay,
1. Yes.
then what am I going to do? I'm going to take the 2 to the other side, and I'm going to say x is equal to negative 1.
1.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Good,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, let's have a look at the brain break. So let's have a look at our brain break question, everybody. So in our brain break question, if we're looking at the brain break, a few of you got it. We're saying, I've got 1, 2, 3. So this bottom one needs to give me 4. Right? If we're looking at the other ones, I see 2, I'll do a different color, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this top one needs to give me 6. So what's the answer going to be? The answer is going to be C. Well done. Loads of you got that one. Congratulations. The answer is C. What is the next shape in the pattern? Have a look at those patterns for me. What is the next shape in the pattern? I'm going to give you a hint. You need to look at the number of sides. So what is the next shape in the pattern? I'm going to give you a hint. All right, I'm seeing loads of good answers there. Great. So this has got 1 side. That's got 2. This has got 3. This has got 4. So my answer is going to be C. The next one will be 5. Fantastic. Well done, guys. And finally, the last one that Miss Kat has for you here tonight, that she prepared for you. Which one-digit number replaces A in this puzzle? Which one-digit number replaces A in this puzzle? Okay, have a look at that puzzle. Which one-digit number is going to replace the letter A in that puzzle? Right, so fantastic, well done. I'm seeing some really good answers. So if I'm looking at this, the difference between 3 and 15 is 12. The difference between 17 and 19 is 12. Between 14 and 16 is 12. 9 and 21 is 12, 12, 12. So what would be the answer here? It would be 5. Well done, guys. Well done. So hopefully you've given your brain a bit of a break and we're ready to move on. Let's have a look at our last section for this evening. We are now going to be substituting. Okay, and we're going to be putting our answer into tables. So it's going to be really good for you to have a calculator handy here, right? Especially with the sums that we're going to be doing at the moment. You should remember this from grade 8, but we're going to do a little bit of revision about it. Of course, the sums that you're going to get in grade 9 are slightly different, but very similar to the ones you got in grade 8. Let's go have a look at what they would look like. So I'm going to go and write my equation up here. I've got y is equal to 2 to the power of 2x minus 2 to the power of x minus 4. So my very first sum, I'm leaving y as he is. And what I want to do is I want to substitute in minus 2. Minus 2 to the power of minus 2 minus 4. So on your calculator, you guys are going to go put that in for yourself. So on your calculator, go put in that for me. You're going to have 2 to the power of 2, open brackets, negative 2, close brackets, minus 2 to the power of negative 2, minus 4. What do you get as your answer? What do you get as your answer? Good, I'm seeing some good answer from Tammy. So we should get negative 67 over 16. Did everyone get that answer? Put it on your calculator. Good. I'm seeing another person got the same answer. So in my table, I'm going to say negative 67 over 16. When I go and I put my coordinates in now, x will be negative 2, y will be negative 67 over 16. Okay, next one. My next one, I'm going to go cheat a little bit here for you guys. All right, instead of seeing negative 2 this time, I'm going to go see negative 1. Right, so go change that and put it on your calculator. So instead of seeing x, I'm going to see negative 1. I've got some really fast calculator fingers here tonight. So I get negative 17 over 4. And so my figures are going to be negative 1, negative 17 over 4. Good, well done. Okay, so we're really putting our calculator skills to the test here tonight. My next one is 0. Hey, so go put that into your calculator. Right, go put that into your calculator. What do we get? We get negative 4. So my answer is 0 and negative 4. Well done. Okay, my next one is going to be 1. Right, go put 1 in on your calculator. And we get negative 2. So I'm going to have 1 is to negative 2. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Well done. Right. Go do the last 2 for me. Go try the last 2. So for those of you who are working with me, we're going to put 2 in here on your calculator. You're going to substitute that in. You're going to get 8. And so you're going to have 2 and 8. And finally, the last one is a huge one. You're going to have 100. Right, and that gives you 1047548. So 10 is to 1047548. All right, so simple substitution, just putting those figures in each time, getting our answers. I'm going to move this down so that you guys can have a look at the next one. Right, go and have a look at putting your figures into the next one. I see I've got a question here, so you guys go and do the substitution. In the meantime, I'm going to answer Kaiso's question. Kaiso, you should be able to unmute yourself. What is your question? Can I help? You are unmuted. Kaiso? You are unmuted. Do you have a question for me?
No, ma'am.
No question. Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. All right. So let's go have a look. What am I going to do now each time? I'm going to substitute in. So I've got my first one, y is equal to negative 2 squared minus 4 times negative 2 plus 20. And I'm seeing that I get 32. So I'm going to have negative 2 and 32. All right. What am I going to do then? I'm going to go replace that negative 2 with negative 1. Okay, go put your figures in there for me. And what do you get? You get 25. Fantastic, guys. 25. Well done. Working really hard tonight. 25. Lots of participation in the chat. That's fantastic to see. Okay, my next one, I'm going to substitute in 0. So I'm going to have 0 here now. Right, what do I get when I do 0? So instead of seeing x, I'm going to have 0. Good. So I'm going to get 20. So I've got 0 and 20. Well done. Well done, everybody. Great. My next one, instead of seeing 0, I'm going to have a 1. So substitute in your 1 for me. What do you get when you substitute in your 1? Good. You get 17. So I get 1 is to 17. Heading towards the end now. We've got 2. Right. What do we do when we get 2? So we put that into our calculator, or you can do it the long way. That's also fine. Okay. What do we do when we put 2 in? We get 16. So 2 is to 16. And finally, we've got 10. So what happens when we have 10? When we have 10, we will get 80. And so 10 is to 80. Well done, everybody. Congratulations. That table was a little bit easier than the first one because we didn't have as many exponents. So that made it a little bit easier to operate on our calculator. But we all seem to have gotten the correct answers. So we've got one table left for this evening. Make sure you've taken a screenshot of the previous one. So again, you've got it inside your questions so that you can always go back and practice. Let's have a look at the last question. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to work out the answers quickly. I'll give you a little bit of time to work out the answers. Okay, give it a try. All right. So, oh dear. Even if you are super confused and you're not sure how to get the y's, at least you can go get some marks for the x's. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to start by putting in all my x's quickly. So there were my x's very quickly. Okay, you guys went and you substituted in all your y's for me. So on your calculator, you would have said 3 open brackets for the first one, -2 squared plus 4 open brackets -2 minus 10. And for the first one, what do we get? We get -6. So -2 is to -6. Right. For my next one, I'm then going to substitute in -1. So instead of seeing -2 now, I'm going to see -1. And just like you're all saying, when I put in -1, I get -11. Great. Well done, guys. For the next one, I have 0. When I put in 0, I get -10. Okay. For the next one, I go and I put in a 1. So I go and I substitute in 1 to my sum next. So I'm going to have 3 to the power of 1 squared plus 4 to the power of 1 minus 10. Have a look, work it out. I'm seeing some strange answers. There we go. So I'm going to get -3. Okay, for my next one, I'm going to go put in a 2, right? So instead of seeing the x, I'm going to see 2. And so I'm going to get 10. And for my very last one, instead of seeing an x, I'm going to put a 10. And when I put the 10 in, what answer do I get, everyone? I get 330. So 330. Make sure you've taken a photo of that table. Make sure you've taken a screenshot. So again, you can go back and practice this question again and again and again. Really always good to have practice with these questions.